I think when you're looking at collecting data, the quandary often is between using survey methods or focus group methods. And in this case, we decided focus groups seemed a more appropriate method. You have a different level of engagement with focus groups, that you get people in a room talking about issues, sharing perspectives. And I think there's a survey fatigue for a lot of teachers and people working in schools. We basically developed 4 questions. First question was, what does well-being mean to you? Get people into the discussion. The second was, what in your home, your personal life impacts your well-being, supports or hinders your well-being. The third was, what in your school work helps or hinders your well-being. And the fourth question is, what would you like to see change in your school or district to support your well-being? People who are in focus groups said the experience of being in those groups was really positive. They went back into schools, talked quite a lot about it. It was extended beyond the group in the room. So what we did after the focus groups is we had an evening at the secondary school where 40 people were invited, and those people identified from the focus group data the priorities that they wanted to address. We had a wider pool of people looking at the focus group data and deciding what, or making recommendations on what they thought were the preferred directions. From the reports, then we developed single-page graphics, so you could actually see connections. You could see where the different groups thought action should be taken for their group specifically, and where action might be across all the groups. The overall goal of the focus groups worked really well in terms of engagement. I also think it worked really well in terms of providing sufficient data for the district to make some decisions on where they wanted to move in terms of staff well-being. So for instance, one key area that came out from all 4 focus groups was improving professional relationship. As a result of those findings, the district approved sending 4 people to the Simon Fraser University Improving Dialogue in Public Education series, Constructive Dialogue, with the hope of expanding that into a learning group in the 2019-20 school year. So some action directly resulted, and there's a series of other actions which will come from the data. From my perspective, and I think from the perspective of people in the Powell River team, where we did the focus groups, and the team in Langley, where we also did the similar approach, I think there is a general support for this method. And I think it's, again, based on the 2 key factors of engaging more people in meaningful discussion about teacher and staff well-being, and getting data that you can actually move forward on. So for us, it was a worthwhile process, and particularly in terms of well-being, it opened up a number of areas that would have been more difficult to identify through survey data. So worked for us, and it's given us a chance to move forward with the data from the groups.